I'm David Fleming from the Disciples Ignited YouTube channel, where we're focused on Jesus, advancing his kingdom, and preparing his disciples. Now we're studying about the wilderness journey of the Israelites, how the Lord led them out of Egypt, through the Red Sea, through the wilderness, and eventually got them to the promised land as he had promised. Now, over the past few videos, we've been dealing with the miraculous deliverance of the Israelites through the Red Sea. And what I wanted to do today was I wanted to read to you Exodus chapter 14, verses 29 through 31, that gives us a brief but very good synopsis of that miraculous event. Listen. But the Israelites went through the sea on dry ground, with a wall of water on their right and on their left. That day the Lord saved Israel from the hands of the Egyptians, and Israel saw the Egyptians lying dead on the shore. And when the Israelites saw the mighty hand of the Lord displayed against the Egyptians, the people feared the Lord and put their trust in him and in Moses' servant. Now, while there are so many things that can be said from this short passage, I wanted to point out two things that are vitally important for anyone that wants to walk with Jesus, and that is the fear of the Lord and trust in the Lord. Now, today, the fear of the Lord is very rarely mentioned in Christian circles. And when it is talked about, it is talked about in ways that dumb it down. Most people say, well, the fear of the Lord in the Bible isn't really talking about fearing the Lord. It's really just talking about having a reverence towards the Lord. But that's not at all what the Bible says. In Psalm 2, it says, serve the Lord with fear and rejoice with trembling. I especially like what Proverbs 14:27 tells us. The fear of the Lord is a fountain of life, turning a man from the snares of death. There you have it. When we fear the Lord in a right way, it keeps us from doing our own thing, rebelling against God, and just turning into a reprobate. Well, I tell you what, those that fear the Lord know that you do not want to be handed over to the Lord when he is upset. Oh, no. You see, the Lord is redemptive. He is more than willing to forgive, but we have got to walk with him humbly and in obedience. And if we don't, if we rebel against him, as did the Egyptians, well, look at them. That's what caused the Israelites to fear the Lord that day. They saw the mighty hand of God that came against the Egyptians. And they realized that if they were to rebel against the Lord, that the Lord would also come against them, not in wrath, but with discipline. And I tell you what, the discipline of the Lord is not anything that you want to invite into your life. You want to walk in obedience. That's what the fear of the Lord will do for you. It will keep you out of trouble and keep you walking humbly and obediently with the Lord. But some people think that if they fear the Lord, that's going to cause them to run away from the Lord. Oh, no, exactly the opposite. You see, those two qualities that I just spoke about, the fear of the Lord and trust of the Lord, they were spoken of together as things that were applied, that were growing in the Israelites' lives, and that were nurtured through going through that event, the Red Sea. They feared the Lord, yes, because they saw how the Lord dealt with the Egyptians, but they also learned that they could trust the Lord. And those are things that, as we walk with Jesus, we certainly want to be nurtured in our life. We want to have the fear of the Lord in our life. But we also want to see that the Lord is to be trusted. We can put our faith in him. You know, if the Israelites had only have nurtured those qualities in their lives, and they would have walked successfully through the wilderness and got to the promised land much sooner than they did. But unfortunately, they did not. They ceased to fear him and quickly fell into rebellion, and they ceased to trust him and grumbled all along the way. But let's not do that. Let's fear the Lord and let's trust the Lord, and we will be triumphant in our walking with Jesus. Let's talk again tomorrow.